Like, I'm 34 years old. I have 34 years of sports.
Why is it so hard for a sports person in Sri Lanka?
I'll tell you why. If we are not talented, we won't be going to the national teams. When you are getting into the national teams, there are a lot of politics. The selector is saying he got called from influential people. Please put that particular player inside. That happens each and every year.
How hard is it in Sri Lanka to get sponsorship for a sport that is not very popular like cricket?
I didn't receive sponsorships from any of the brands or...
Even after so many struggles, you went there, you didn't give up, you won the championship. And when you came back, what happened?
We met the sports minister at that time. That didn't work out.
Were you able to get other fights?
They didn't let me to play.
Why?
No reasons. One of the guys just called me and asked me that, to whom did you go? Why did you use MMA? And he's saying that they are going to file a case.
Rape becomes a talk of the town only when someone dies. But it shouldn't be the case. There are many unreported cases that happen. We definitely should teach men about boundaries. But I also believe that 100% we cannot avoid issues like rape. There will always be someone. For that, I do believe self-defense is really important. How does Sri Lanka as a country, what do you think should schools and organizations or parents and everyone in Sri Lanka, how do you think they should give importance to self-defense?
What you asked is an important question.
Do you recommend getting married?
You have to choose the correct one.
That is the hardest part.
I was a party guy.
Do people, whenever they get into a wali or something, do they still call you? Like,
my father says to me and my brother, he mimics like this. Hari macha, hari, dangeno. Macang enda puluwanda, dangeno.
Different Arshan.
Different Arshan, like Basha.
Kara. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you so much
for calling me.
Thank you so much.
By giving me the time. Actually.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you
After
for
a long time, I open up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Right, and now the chalk.
No choking. No one's getting choked. Cut.
You want the chalk?
Yes.
No one's getting choked. No one's getting
It will
choked.
take only a few seconds to get back.
No. So, Arshan, Uvaise, welcome
Thank you very much for
to the
calling
Deep
me.
Tea podcast.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah.
Feeling comfortable?
Yes. Comfortable enough.
I want to start with a basic question every MMA, any fighter might have to grapple with during their beginning stages. Parents.
Yeah, true.
When you first told your parents that you're going to get into MMA or fighting, any fighting, what was their response? Because I'll tell you a backstory. Someone from my family got hit in the head and then they lost their memory for some time. This was a boxer. They lost their memory. So after that, even when my cousins told their parents, I want to try MMA or boxing, they won't let them do it. Get it?
Yeah.
So how was it from your parents back then when you started?
Actually, Hamam, talking about that was so hard. I mean, like, so hard for my parents as well, because after becoming a parent, then only I realized how much it is.
After you became a parent.
That's the thing, how much it is hard to look at your children, getting tough times in terms of sports, injuries. And we also come across most of the sportsmen are getting injuries and they are all passing away, right?
Yeah.
We have seen several. Recently also we have known Rugby player passed away, right?
Yes.
So obviously it might be. I mean, I haven't asked my parents actually the same question that you asked me,
Okay.
but I can just with their reactions after my last fight, right, was on July 29th, right, with their reactions, they didn't said it to me face to face, like directly, but several things they showed to me and they were talking about stuffs. So it indirectly told me that I have to stop. But it was very hard for them going through.
Okay.
But from my childhood, right, me and my brother were involved in contact sports. Like I was a rugby player previously, right? Rugby was my main sport from my
Right.
childhood. So my brother played rugby, and we both played for national teams. So from throughout the beginning stage, right, when we are playing for schools as well, we had numerous injuries. Talking about the concussion that you said,
Right.
it is called concussion, right? You totally right go blind. I mean, like you totally go blackout,
Okay.
and when you get back, right,
Okay.
you say the same thing again and again and again, right, for a couple of times until you get a good sleep,
It's
right?
very dangerous, right?
Very dangerous, right? Because you get a blow on your head.
Okay.
So as a result of that, you get a concussion.
Do you never think about it? Like, forget about your parents for a second. Don't you feel fear?
In the beginning stage, I had that fear on
Okay.
me, like getting hit, right, getting disabilities, right. But I was undergone numerous surgeries. Talking about that, doctors even said that I cannot continue sports.
This is when you got injured while playing rugby, yes?
Yeah, playing rugby for clubs. I mean, for playing Candy Sports Club, the main, I mean, the leading one of the leading clubs in Sri Lanka,
Candy Sports Club.
Candy Sports Club. So I was playing professionally, but during that stage, I got injuries, numerous injuries, and I undergone two major surgeries as well.
Two surgeries.
Yes. So after that, I come across MMA. So because I was compelled to stop rugby because of those injuries.
Now, I want to go back in time to the point where you started playing rugby. You and your brother both played rugby, and due to injury, you had to let it go.
Yes.
Was that a really bad time
Yeah.
in your
Definitely.
life?
Definitely. That is going back to it. That time in through your memory itself, it is very hard for me to think about it because I was in a peak time, right? Each and every man has a peak time,
Okay.
right, in their professional life or in their personal life. So that was a peak time for me, right? So in that peak time, I was getting into the most players like dreamy life, right?
Okay.
So in that era, in back in 2009,
Sports
2010,
person life.
yeah. So in that era, right, Candy Sports Club is just a big thing for all rugby
Okay.
players in Sri Lanka because we see all big legends are playing like Narakavira Kodi, Fasil Marija,
Yeah.
and Imran Bistamin, and big names, right? Sanjay Jayasinghe, and looking up to them, like playing the game and living their life like a celebrity life.
Yeah.
That was the dream for us. So soon after getting back from school, like in
Okay.
2009, I left school.
So, how old were you when you started playing rugby?
Well, I started like 10 or 12 years old.
When you were 12 years old.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because my residence is very close by to St. Anthony's College.
Yes.
That means St. Anthony's College, Rahula Grounds, and my residence.
Okay.
Right. Soon after we come out from the school, right, we get back to Rahul Grounds and we play rugby. We play touch rugby, and it gets to the full contact rugby, right, and it gets into WWF. Right? So and then we'll jump to there was a well area. So
Okay.
there was drains, right? So fully functional,
Fully
right?
functional.
Up to like 536, fully functional, right? So that was the foundation of us,
Okay.
right?
You
So,
also played for the school, is it?
yes, yes. I was the vice captain in 2009,
Okay.
right? I played for several years for the first 15 team, and in my year in 2009, so I was the only one to tour for Sri Lanka as a number 8.
Very important person,
Very
is it?
important position,
Okay.
right? So it was like a tough guy, right? Should be number 8, right? The
Okay.
most speed, most tough, right? And most responsible guy has to become the number
So
8.
you had that responsibility in the team.
Yes.
So you're saying
Indeed.
you had the chance to play national, or you played
I
national?
played. I played. In 2009, I represent Sri Lanka team. So I was in 2008. I was selected to the squad, but I couldn't tour. In 2009, I toured.
How old were you then?
I was like 18. Yeah, 18.
So it's a huge thing, no? Like the injury. Like what happened? Like what happened?
After that, only the injuries were came. But in my school days in 2007, I can remember the first match I played against Trinity College.
Okay.
So I was a flanker, right?
Okay.
So I played the whole match, but I couldn't remember the match because due to a concussion, right? You see here, 3 stitches, right?
Okay.
Here, 3 stitches.
It came from that.
Yeah, plus concussion. So I don't remember, right? So, right?
You played the match though.
Whole match was played
You played the match, but you don't remember what happened.
with these injuries, right? So now it's different. The game is different. If you have a concussion, they don't let you to play. But back in those days, just nothing for us. So think about, right? Nowadays, parents, do they allow their kids to do this?
I don't think so, man.
So back in those days, our parents doesn't come to watch.
Have you ever felt like, you know what, it would be lovely to see your parents from the stands?
Time to come, right? When I was playing for first 15 team last
Okay.
year in 2009, so they finally understood the game and they finally came to watch a couple of.
Okay.
But most of the time, we don't let our parents to come to school for any of the reasons.
Why?
Right? Because whether it's a parents meeting or whether it's a game, right? And an influence to the teacher or an influence to the coaches, right? Because we have seen such a things are happening, so we don't want that politics.
Right, because once they come, they'll say, you know what, make sure they don't get hurt. But then rugby,
Yes.
it's a get hurt
Yeah, that's
game.
the thing. Get hurt thing. So I might be like stopped earlier that before the injuries comes. But certain things we have to take the responsibilities right out of parents.
Okay.
Certain things that even the parents should be getting a better understanding on that.
Okay.
So our parents let us to do whatever we want to do at school age, and even after school as well. But certain things they were worried.
Like
Actually,
what?
they were worried about I mean, like getting injured, right? Getting into a full contact games, right? So some of the times after school times, they were worried because the physics levels are little bit like having a big gap with the professional players and with us,
Okay.
right? So we were not 100% professional players, right? I was working in a bank, then I have to get back to practices, and these practices are not just going for a gym, training, and getting back home, right? Not like that.
So you started working in a bank
Yes.
right after school,
Yes.
and you kept playing
Yes.
parallelly. Okay.
So 8:30 to 5:15 work, right?
Okay.
So the training comes early morning 5:30. So they will be stopping at 8.
Okay.
So 8:30 sharp, I have to be on the seat because I was the teller. It was in Nittavala. Bank was near Dalada Maligawa. So all the way we have to come and work, right? And teller functions finish at 5. So 5:15 training at Candy Sports Club. Again, we used to go. So while we are going, right, we take a three-wheeler and go. While we are going in the three-wheeler only, we change. Right, our clothes, I mean the practice kit we put inside the three-wheeler. So we used to close
Inside
the
the
shutters.
three-wheeler, you change clothes.
Why? Because 5:15 we have to be on the ground.
What happens if you aren't on time?
We'll be drop out from the team. And I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
Right? My injuries caused because of that.
Because of like overworking.
Yeah, exactly. Overwork, and at 5:15 we have to be on the grounds,
Okay.
right? Getting ourselves warm up, stretched,
Okay.
right? And 5:15 the training session will be starting. So aggressive training session. These
Okay.
are right. These are with professional players.
Okay.
Right? They don't work; they only play. Right? We work and we play. So that is professional. This is part time. Right?
Why couldn't you also only play?
Financially, we are not. I mean, that much.
Okay.
Yeah, our family backgrounds are not that much of financially stable. So we have to look after our families as well, look after ourselves as well. So we know that financially, if we are not strong, right, we cannot even go and play as well.
This is a huge problem in the middle
That is
class,
a
middle
huge
and lower
problem where
classes. Yeah.
there is a politically influence. That political means not what we are saying that the parliament politics,
Okay.
right? This is a norm politics we know in certain places. I mean, like if you take a job or if you take a professional, any professional lives, there are politics
Were you affected by
inside.
that?
I am also one of the victims. Because you see, when you are getting professional, right, you have to have the supporting background. Supporting background of what? Financially. If you wanted to become professional player, right, you have to have the financial benefits as well. If you are not good enough in financials, how you going to involve in full time in a sport?
You played for Candy Sports Club,
Yeah.
right? They have sponsors. They play matches. Don't they pay you enough?
Actually, Hamam, now
Pay you enough?
when
Can't. Yeah.
we are getting into the clubs, right, we are freshers, right? We are freshers. We are not professionals.
Okay.
Right? We are not superiors. There are superiors. So we have to get into the squad, right? We have to show our talents, right? Talent is not enough, right? Talent is not enough because when that
Talent is
time
not enough.
not enough, right? When that stage, right? When I'm getting into this club, I think most of the players are Sri Lanka players.
Okay.
15 major players, and there are a squad of 30, right? I think 15 to 20 or over 20 Sri Lanka players, right? Because that's the number one club, right? So they pick from the number one club, they pick the players to the national team from the number one club. So
Candy
it's
Sports
not
Club.
easy, right? One of the things is it's not easy. So we have to daily we have to show how much we are capable to get into the questions. So it's very hard.
Must have been stressful also, because you have to go to work, and then, like you said, you have to, like, and then you said that your injuries are
That's
direct.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's a new nature no, for us. Like the compatibility is high, right? When we go to the school, we don't have the responsibility to earn money, right? We have only two things to do: learn and play.
Yeah.
So I love to play more than learning, right? Because I'm a physical active guy,
Yeah.
right? I did my all levels A-levels as well, right? And plus I managed to do the sports as well. But the age limits were compatible, right? Not that up to the professional standard because there are certain age limits to under 19. So you get the same age players or 1 or 2 years. But when you get into the big tank, right, there are developed, right? Certain ages are gone, certain experience levels, and players are giants, right? We have to compete with them. See the gap, right? I'm getting from the school, right? Already being in the top, right? So
Yeah.
see the gap over here. I have to merge the gap as soon as possible, right? So I have to rush. I cannot compromise in any place.
You also have to work and
Work and all, but even though I have to do the sport because I love it. I love the sport, right? Sport is my priority, right? For that only I took the job, right? So we have to do the job to take care of ourselves and our families as well. So after that, even when I was in school, my family was struggling in financially, right?
okay.
So we have to take care of them, take care of our parents as well. So they are struggling. You can see they are struggling. So when I got into Candy Sports Club, So the payments that we are getting is a very less payment,
Okay.
right? That is how it happens normally. But some of the players, right, did got the luxury, right? They don't need to go for a, I mean, like, go for a work other than the sports that they are involved in. So that because of the political influences.
Was it only you in that team, or were there many others who were affected by this
Yeah,
financial disparity?
definitely. Each year there might be one or two who is getting affected.
Who is also talented?
If we are not talented, they won't be picking for the number one club. We won't be going to the national teams, because when you are getting into the national teams, there are a lot of politics influences. Even I have heard that in 2008 I was rejected, right? I was dropped down,
Okay.
right? So uh, that's a different scenario, right? After getting dropped down, right, I was very happy to get back to Kandy, because I was the total selection and all the process was in Colombo. Imagine 17 years, 18 years getting into Colombo and being on that environment is just burning in the hell, right? So all I need to get back to home. That was my first experience. So
Right.
I said, Alhamdulillah, I'm getting back. That's good. I'm rejected. But right, I heard that the selector is saying that,
Okay.
right, he got calls from influential people saying that please put that particular player inside, right?
For you?
Not for me,
Okay.
for the other players, right?
Okay.
Some of the players, they got influenced and they get into the team. Actually, that happens each and every year. So that happens. So that is how the system is going on. That's a different story, right? If I talk about it, one day is not enough for
Okay.
us. So
So you're saying financially, a sports person needs support,
yeah, definitely.
right? When you got into MMA, was it the same like it was when you played rugby? Were you able to get sponsorship for your MMA game?
Not exactly. I mean, like, I started with kickboxing, right? So my first tour was to England in 2018.
The K1 championship,
K1
which you won.
championship, yeah, which I won. So at that stage, I was working in left Candy Sports Club because of the injury in 2015, right, in 14, 15, like that.
Okay.
So after that, I was searching into something to, involve in physically.
Okay.
So I was fond of boxing, but there was no space to learn boxing out of the school ranges, right, in Kandy. So I got to know kickboxing. I went to a kickboxing academy in YMCA. Master Darshana, Master was the founder and and who is running Sembura Martial Arts. So I went over there and I learned kickboxing.
Okay.
So within 2 years, that means 16, 18 was the World Championship, right?
2018 World Championship.
World Championship.
2016 you started kickboxing.
Started kickboxing with the injuries, right? Okay.
With the injuries.
With the injuries. So I was parallelly I was working in a bank, right? After letting go Candy Sports Club, right? Because of some influences by the superior, one of the superiors in the bank,
Okay.
I was transferred to Badulla.
So it was not just your injury that made you made your career in the Candy Sports Club come to an end.
That because of the injury only I left. With the Candy Sports Club's recommendation, I got the job, right? I'm a Candy Sports Club player. I'm Antonian, and I have done my O-levels and A-levels. Fresher, good enough. Took me as a teller, right? That is normal qualification. But majorly, the influence came from Candy Sports Clubs,
Okay.
right? By the recommendation of Mr. Malik Samarik.
Malik Samarik,
who is the caretaker of the club, right?
Okay.
Who does a big role in Candy Sports Club.
How is your relationship with him right now? Is it still there?
No, not exactly. When I was playing, I know him. If I met him face to face, he obviously talked to me. But more than that, I have nothing.
That would have been a huge support for you guys, because Like you said,
Yeah, true.
you were struggling, your family was struggling financially.
True. That's true. That is like the bank. I can say now itself. I can say the bank is a second school for me because I learned a lot of things from that. Right? I I mean, like, I got to know most wonderful people from that. So I have the relationship now itself with them. Right? They are like a family for me. Right?
Okay.
Still they are there. And coming back to the 2018 tour, right? They supported me financially and morally, right?
K1 championship.
Yeah, for the K1 championship, right? And I didn't receive any of the sponsorships from any of the brands or even from the bank. I didn't receive any of the support, but the staff who were working with me, right? Staff helped me, and my friends, my school friends, right, helped me, and majorly my family helped me, right? My wife and wife's family helped me.
So you were funded by your friends and family.
Yeah, truly, not from the bank.
How hard is it in Sri Lanka to get sponsorship for a sport that is not very popular like cricket?
It is very hard, and it's practically, it's now itself they have opened, but back in there when we started, right? I started in 2018 when I was starting, right? There were no sponsorships that I have heard that have funded for any of the martial artists. I tried to get a sponsorship, right, from several people, from several companies. First of all, I asked the sponsorship from my own bank, which I was working, right? They promised to me give that, right? And at the last point, until the last point, they promised me to give the sponsorship, right? When I was about to book the air ticket,
Okay.
right? And I submitted the invitations to the bank, saying that, asking that, give me a sponsorship, right?
Okay.
So they agreed. Okay, I'm very happy. So I processed it. So they told me that you have to apply for the visa, get the visa, and let us know. Right?
Okay.
I got the visa, right? Fortunate enough to get the visa, right? Was not eligible financially, but Alhamdulillah, Allah gave me that, right? So I got the visa. So I submitted that visa as well. So they asked me, give me some time, we'll process and we'll give you how much do you need. So I was calculating some budget, and I was asking for about like 500,000,
Okay.
right? So for the air tickets,
500,000 for the whole,
yeah, for the whole
journey. Back up,
right?
up and down.
Yeah, fair enough, right?
Yes.
So they were okay, right? Agreed, and no writtenly they didn't give anything, but verbally I asked from the president of the welfare and the sports club at the bank. So he agreed, right? So okay, so he agreed, and I'm very happy that I'm getting a sponsorship. So I was waiting until the sponsorship comes over and to purchase the air ticket. So until the last date for the air ticket, that we have to purchase it a little bit earlier, no, because I was trying to purchase the air ticket both ways.
Okay.
Right.
Up and down.
From right. So after that, for the last day, until the last day, I was calling to them, and they were saying that wait, we are on the process. We'll give. Last day came, right? Phones are not being answered, right? So I didn't get an answer as well. So at 3 o'clock, I have to make the payments to purchase. Otherwise, I have to go after the tournament. No point of going after the tournament, right? So before the tournament, I have to go there. So I was like hopeless. I was praying to Allah. I was praying, doing my prayers, and one of my colleagues just called me and asked that, "Aren't you going?" So I told, "This is the scenario." So right, I was waiting and I was calling until like 2 o'clock. No reply. Right, didn't answer. Right, so I let it go, and my uncle called me and asked me, "Puta, aren't you gonna go? Because you got an opportunity which the most of them doesn't get it.
Huge opportunity.
Huge opportunity, right?" So I told, "No, uncle, I didn't get the sponsorship from the bank as well. So what am I supposed to do?" So He told that no, you can't let it go like that. Right? It is a huge pride for our family as well. This is my wife's father, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge pride for our family. We cannot let it go. I'll put you the payment now itself. You go and book it, right?
What a guy.
So it has meant to be. It has
Were
written.
you married by then or
I was engaged.
you were engaged? Okay.
2018 only I got engaged.
And after all this struggle, you won the K1 championship. How did it feel then?
Do you know I didn't finish about the sponsorship
Please do,
story,
please do. I'm sorry.
right?
Yes.
So I went over there, won the match, right? Came back, right?
How many days you spent there?
11 days over there. So I came back, right? So, like after coming back,
Okay.
the next day I went to work, right?
Okay.
The next day I went to work. Why? Because the whole 11 days that I went, a week, that might be 5 days, working days,
Okay.
were no pay.
No pay.
Yeah, no pay.
So they promised you sponsorship. They didn't give you, and it was also no pay.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
If you go for a sponsorship, right? If you are doing it part time, a sportsman, part time sportsman, this is just a percentage of what happens. If you ask other athletes, it might be worse. Does it logically make sense for you?
Doesn't.
Right? Does it logically? And you know the best part, what is? The next day, the bank's website is posting that congratulations, right? K1 champion, right? Stuff, K1 champion, and they posted it. And then one of my superiors calling me and saying that Arshan, we have posted a post in our social media platform. Is it okay? No. So after posting, he is asking, which bank didn't give me the sponsorship? Didn't give me even an official leave, a duty leave for me. So I told
Okay.
I have no objection because I love the bank. You get it? Because I love the bank, because that's the bank which taught me about the outer world, right? The politics, and gave me wonderful, beautiful people, financial discipline, right? About most of professional life, operations, everything, right? Which gave me that bank. So I need to honor that bank. So I told them, please process. There are a lot of stories to say, but I don't have the time to, right? You don't have the time, right? even these footages are like will going like hours and hours, because it's all about, like, I'm 34 years old, right? I have 34 years of stories.
Why is it so hard for a sports person in Sri Lanka?
I tell you what, one thing, my opinion, right? It's an individual opinion,
Okay.
right? I'm not quoting anyone else.
Okay.
I was engaged in sports, right? I was very active in sports. I am talented in sports. I worked hard. Not only talent is enough. I worked
Okay.
very hard. I never give up, right? I go to the end of the stage, right?
Give it your best.
Give it my best. Whether I succeeded or not, I don't care. And if anything goes inside here, I let it out from here, right? I say it directly to your face. There are most of them, they don't have that background. They don't have that active background. They don't have that sports background, right? They don't get into their dreams, right? They don't achieve, right? They don't try to achieve actually. But unfortunately, because of something, they have been gone to a top level in any company or any place. So below them, right, a sportsman or an achiever who comes with less academical qualifications and comes and works under them. So that person thinks that, right, that person thinks he has to get a profile by penalizing these persons, right? Look how them. Look how them. I'm now in a better place, right? I have to earn. I have deficit now. he has a deficit of that back in his life. He didn't achieve anything. Now he got the chance to penalize a person who has a big background, right, from his talent, right, to get a profile. He wants to show off a profile in front of that person and to say that, right? Now I am the hero, right? That is how they are trying to earn a profile.
Is this why it's really hard for a sports
Yes,
person in Sri Lanka to make a good living?
definitely. Bro, if you are in a big level, if I'm an athlete, right,
Okay.
I go to a top level, right, I see an athlete, what I do is, right, I'll give him a support, right? I give him a support. Definitely, I give him a support because I didn't had the support at that stage, right? But same as the other side, right? Who doesn't had a big profile at school levels, and after that, right? They have come somehow they are politically influenced person comes into a big positions. What they do is, right? They don't want these people to getting like highlighted. They don't want their staff, like one of the staff is there, right? And I want to support him. Let him go and win the nationals or win the Olympics or
When you mean
whatever.
staff,
Just an example,
okay, okay,
right?
okay.
Just an example.
Someone who is
Yeah,
like
someone
who
who
is
is in a
under
low
you.
position and a high position. That's what I'm calling, right? So most of the hierarchies, if you get it, right, there are sportsmen in hierarchies as well. There are qualified, right? There are good people as well. I'm not criticizing all those everyone, right? But most of them are there. Some of them are there good qualities. They help obviously, but most of them, right? Most of them I have seen in this industry as well, and I have heard from my colleagues as well, right? So if were the companies and the hierarchies were helping, right? You think how many athletes would have been achieved? How many athletes that we could have seen that they are financially doing, professionally doing good things and going to international levels, right? We have good athletes in national levels, but they are not getting into international stage arenas. Very few.
I think they don't believe in investing in people who are yet to become. Because when someone has already achieved something, people might, they will always come and, okay, you know what, like you said, posting or congratulating. Yeah, yeah, I knew him. You know, this guy, I knew him back when. I know this guy, he's my friend. He's my friend's friend. He's my family. You know, when you achieve something or when you win something, they try to get attached to you. Same with sponsors, right? So I think that is where they like. I think they have to start investing in sports people.
If you take an athlete's story, right, from the beginning itself, the achieving athlete, it is a very tough time for them, very hard time for them. Very few get into a big arena and they achieve big things and their story will be published and you see how tough it is, right? Physically, mentally. If a sponsor is, he needs to, right, he has a perspective of a business perspective, right, to market his brand, right? A person who is well famed, right, well, having lot of followers, are becoming a good marketing perspective. So you see the gap, right? I have to become the celebrity to get the sponsor. I'm not getting the sponsor to become a celebrity.
That's the difference, no?
That's the difference.
Okay.
That is what we have to do. So if I have money, right, even though 10,000 or 20,000, right, I will be sponsoring a boxer who needs to go for a noises, right, who is from a rural area, right, who is having a less background but well talented. I'll be sponsoring. Why? Because I know the pain. So talking about the MMA culture,
Okay.
right? So now these days we have a different culture,
Okay.
right? This culture is very strong culture, which is getting in Sri Lanka. The most of the among the players and the trainers, right? The new generation is popping up,
Okay.
right? Collectively, this generation, in between, we are having a good relationship.
Okay.
That's the most beautiful thing
Right.
that didn't had or among all these years, right? There were the legends were there, the pioneers are there, right? Veterans are there, but the relationship, the connectivity is not that much up to a standard.
Back then.
They had conflicts,
Okay.
right? They had conflict because
You mean
of
the
several,
coach
yeah,
and the
coaches,
student?
players,
Okay.
right? Back in the stage of beginning of martial arts. So MMA was started very, I mean, like during less than a decade,
Okay.
right? So before that, we had a good culture of good legacies on martial arts, like in terms of karate, boxing, and kickboxing as well, Muay Thai as well. We had a good culture. I mean,
Okay.
players were going to abroad, to Thailand, and they were achieving good and getting back. And after that, the continuity was not there.
That's
So
the issue, no?
that's the issue.
So,
So
like, was it the same for you? Like, after you won the K1 championship, how was your career after that? Did you get enough matches? Did you get enough recognition? Were there sponsors after that? At least after that, were there sponsors? What happened after the K1 championship? Because after so much struggles, sponsorship you didn't get. Your family had to fund it. Even after so many struggles, you went there, you didn't give up. You won the championship. And when you came back, what happened?
actually, now when I was arriving right to Sri Lanka, two legends were there,
Okay.
Tilanta Malagamu and Lushanaya. So that was arranged by my brothers and my schoolmates, right? And one of my OB all boys were there,
Okay.
right? Seniors were there, and my family was there. So that is the biggest thing that I want to see, right? Getting back after a week, seeing my family and the appreciation, the felicitation from St. Anthony's College. I got the felicitation, right? I left the school in 2009 and I went back to school in 2019, 10 years exactly as a chief guest,
Okay.
right? For the sports meet. That's a big achievement for me, right? After that, I got like several invitations for being a chief guest on sports events. And the biggest achievement at that stage, we were having a controversial issue in our country with religious controversial things, right?
Okay.
In 2018, 19, in that period. So, the biggest felicitation I got from my own city, right, Katugastad area, from the Gatika Rama, right, Pansam.
Okay.
Vyaradipati Narada Hamduro was the organizer of that. So my mom, my dad was there, my family members were there. We were felicitated on our same city, right, hometown, right, we brought up, right. As a child, I have grown up and now I'm showing a good position in my life. I've been achieved something big and the city was proud of me, right.
What a beautiful moment.
What a
No?
beautiful moment, right? So you can see that the pictures in the social media, you can go and see, right? So see the cross culture, see the beauty in Sri Lanka we are having. That is how I was brought up, right? From childhood itself, we are not extremists, but I practice. I'm a practicing Muslim, but most of my colleagues who are like brothers to me, who are like sisters to me, who is a second family to me, is non-Muslims. That's the reality, right?
It's like saying Kadurastota is like the junction, no?
Yeah, junction of. I mean,
You can
that's
go
the
to
main
anywhere.
point anywhere. The main point. My school is situated.
Right.
My childhood was there, and still I live there, right? So 34 years I'm living in this country, in this same city, the beautiful city, with the same people, right? I see over and over. Most of them are there, right? So I love it.
So let's say after the limelight, now when you won the K1 championship, you came back home, got the recognition. Did that continue? What happened after that?
Not actually. We went and we met the sports minister at that time.
Okay.
Right. That didn't work out. Right. We went and met. He was appreciated us, but after that,
Nothing.
nothing. No benefits.
Were you able to get other fights? Were you able to get another championship
Actually,
in Sri Lanka?
I applied. I was able to play a MMA match in 2020. Right. It was postponed because of the COVID.
Okay.
and postponed for the same year. The event was happened, but they didn't inform me to play. They didn't let me to play. Right? That was
Why?
cancelled.
Why?
No reasons. Right? No reasons. After that, I applied for several tournaments in nationally. Right? So I was neglected without reasons. Right? I didn't get a reply actually. So I didn't go and ask them that why you are not letting me to play.
Why not?
Why should I? Why should I? So I have achieved something and I came back, right? Why aren't you letting me to play? Why should I go and ask? Why aren't you letting me play? So they have to give me a platform, right? I earned a platform, right? So several years I don't want to go and like ask them and argue with them and why you aren't you are giving me, right? So one of the reasons I got, right, one of the reasons on the same place when I was going to meet the sports minister,
Okay.
right, there was a national squad, right, on that exact date. National squad was waiting outside the office of the sports minister, which I won as a national. That particular art, I won that in nationals on my weight class.
Okay.
Right, I was not in that squad.
So the weight class you won the K1 championship, you
Not,
were
not the K1 championship.
Okay.
K1 champion is different.
Okay.
So in nationally, I won a
In Sri Lanka?
championship in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Right. So I don't want to talk about that. Right. I don't want to say about what's the form of the art.
Okay.
Right. They were there, and the president was there. I didn't ask him, but he come up and said that we didn't select you because there is no weight category internationally playing on this art form, particular art form. And several political influences happened. Right, one of the guys just called me and asked me that what was my this is in 2021-22, like that it got viral again.
Okay.
Because people didn't know back in 2018 I won it. This was held in UK, and most of the informations they didn't know. So after that it got viral again in 2000, back in I think 2022 or something like that.
Okay.
So then a person who is having a tournament, specific tournament, who called me and asked me that, right, through whom did you go? Throughout whom did you go to this tournament? Why did you use MMA? Term of MMA, right? So how can you use that? Send me the footages, send me the details now itself. Offensively, he's asking me, right? And he's saying that we are going to file a case on this, right, on the courts.
But you did win the match, right? You did win the championship, even nationals.
This is what. This is the problem. This is the issue that having, right? We are having, right? This is when we are having federations, these kind of things happen. So for MMA, we don't have a federation.
Is that why it's now becoming a popular sport?
That's the thing. Why it's becoming popular? Because we don't have a federation. We can free-handedly play with any of them, right? We can go internationally and play, right, with any of the international players. That's with our own risk.
And your last match was with a German after so many years.
Yes, after 6 years.
A match.
So during these 6 years, that's my first MMA match. During these 6 years, I was trying to go to like national matches in terms of certain forms of martial arts, but I didn't get the platform. I don't know why, right? So everything happens for a good, right? Alhamdulillah, I say Alhamdulillah, and I went off. It doesn't matter.
This match with the German, Dennis, you got the match after a long time, but you lost.
Yes.
After so many years in MMA, you are a coach now. How do you look at loss? How do you absorb loss?
First thing is 6 years. After 6 years, I got into that stage, right, with an internationally qualified fighter. One thing. That's a big achievement. BJJ lecturer. He does a lot of workshops. He's a purple belt. So he's an international player as well. So getting into a fight with him is a big achievement for me, because I'm 34 years and I'm still running, still can maintain, still can compete with the international players.
And you did give a good fight.
Yeah. That he also, that Dennis accepted it.
He called your hand the buffalo hand.
Yeah. So the second thing is Dennis is 20 years of experience in BJJ. Me, I don't have experience on BJJ. I just had couple of times of training with Anjula Amar Singh Master. Right, I trained with him whenever he comes for the vacation, and
Sri Lanka.
1 or 2 times I get the chance per year. Even I think like 5 or 10 times I come and I individually train myself. Think about purple belt and no belt.
So that's how you weave this loss.
Yes.
You
So
got
no belt is competing with a purple belt is an achievement. If you go to international arena, they don't let you to compete with a purple belt, right?
okay.
So see the experience and the exposure that I got. 20 years of experience sharing the stage with him, right? Even though I loss is what you call is a it has he must win it, right? Otherwise, BJJ will lose. Otherwise, the new generation thinks the BJJ doesn't work.
True.
So I think like I got a big exposure being in my own city, right, in front of my families and friends. So that's a big exposure. Now I gain a lot of knowledge as well, a lot of lot of what you call
Experience.
experience and exposure and
Learnings.
confidence. My confidence levels are boosted up because if I can fight with him, fight with a purple belt, right, with an experience like that. So imagine
It
in
means that in Sri Lanka you are the
Sri
best
Lanka,
fighter
yeah,
in that weight category.
yeah, in Asian level, right, I can compete. I don't know about the international level. Asian level, I can compete because he's a European fighter. So my first fight, K1, I won in Europe with European fighters, and this MMA, I competed with the European fighter.
So you take this loss as a huge achievement.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now I want to talk about fatherhood. How has it changed your perspective of life and also your approach to MMA? Because I asked earlier too, it's not the same. It cannot be the same. Because now you're responsible for a kid. How has it changed? Has fear settled in you?
The biggest beautiful moment that I had in my life is becoming a father. Right? Getting that child in my hand gave me two double engines, right? Because I have to do something for him. I have lived my life each and every day in terms of very hard, tough times, but I lived it. I love it. If you say that you have to do like work, you have this much of a file that you have to finish it off, that just doesn't work for me. I don't love it. But if you say that you have 4:30 training and 6:30 training and 7:30 training, 8:30 training, 10:30 up to 12, right? You have training, hard training. I love it.
You love that schedule.
I love that schedule. I love the tough times, right? So now I live my life, right? Each and every moment, right? According to me, I'm a very satisfied person. So
Now you want to-
now I want to do something to my baby, my child, right? To my family, actually. My mom and dad are very proud
Okay.
because they lived their life in Kadugastara, like 60 to 65 years. They are now their age is 65, right? So they lived in the same place, and they had their pride moment because in terms of my achievement, my mother is a teacher. I went as a chief guest to the sports meet to the exact school that my mother worked as a teacher. So I walked with my mother,
Westwood College.
Westwood International College. So I walked with my mother. So my mother was proud because she was a teacher, employee, and getting back in a red carpet. So that's a big achievement. And even my mosque, Juma Mosque, Katukasara Mosque, they felicitated me, right? Which a rank that you give it for a Maulavi. You become a Maulavi and you get that in a Jumma day, you get a felicitation. Same felicitation I got it because of my achievement. So what else do you need? They are proud, proud parents, and my siblings are very proud of me.
Okay.
Right? I know they are satisfied. Now it's a time to my family, like like my wife and my child. But even though my wife says to stop fighting, my mom and dad says stop fighting because
Are you going to stop?
I don't think. Sure. I don't think, inshallah, because because the biggest asset that I have is my physique, my strength. That is Allah has, Alhamdulillah, He has given me the biggest plus point in my life is that the presence that when I go wherever I go, you see my physique, and then you have that profile or something like something kind of that the people recognize that I'm a sportsman. So the best asset that I have is my physique.
Yeah.
So my core is fitness.
So you don't want to give up, is it?
I don't want to give up. Alhamdulillah, if there was a term that I have to give up, then I will be. So I'm like gave up on rugby because of
Injury.
the injury. But injury didn't stop me becoming fit, right, into another place.
So you don't want your fatherhood to be, you don't want it to be a barrier to your dreams too.
Bro, if I become fit every day, I can spend more time with my children physically. Now these days, you are not physically capable to look after your child after getting back from your whatever the professional work or anything, and what you do is you to cater that you give the phone, and after that you are blaming the child that he's not getting any activities, right? His brain is not developed, that is not developed, this is not developed. If you are physically capable enough and fit enough, so you can do your professional work, less activities from your physical activities will be involving on your professional life. So after getting back home, you are fit enough to play with your child. So what happens?
Yeah.
You need attention. There is a research says that the man's 90% up to 90% brain development will be happening in age 1 to 10. So at that stage, you and me, we will be most of the time we are spending physical activities. We will be playing outdoor. Now these days the children doesn't get that luxury. Parents are not letting the child to get it outdoor because you can't follow them. So where does it lacks? You have to keep up your physical fitness levels.
But don't you feel like if something happens to you in a fight, don't you feel like it will affect your child?
I mean, like, if I am not confident enough to go for a fight, I won't take it.
But have you ever felt unconfident?
No.
So you believe in your abilities 100%.
I believe in God,
Okay.
right? Even though you're involved in a fight or not, something can happen,
Sure.
right? Without doing something, how can you say that it will affect your life? So doing something will obviously boost up, right? Boost up your confidence. It will now look, your child is your responsibility.
True.
Right? So my child is my responsibility. He look after first teachers on their life is their parents. If he sees me that I'm involving physical activities, I will be exercising, I will be like having engaging fighting or gym or whatever the thing it is, right? And I'm maintaining such a discipline in the stage of his brain development, 90% brain development. In that period, he is looking after me and seeing that I'm a disciplined person, I'm a sports person, I'm an active person. What will happen to his rest of the time?
So he has a great example in his life as his father.
We have to be, right? You have to be, right? I had bad stuffs going on, right? I had the undisciplinary, right, issues. I had bad stuff on my life as well. I did wrong things, bad things, but I left it.
You want to be better for your child.
Yes, left it for my betterment and my future and my family as well.
Talking about your child, and I have to ask you this. Marriage, I'm in the middle.
Most of them I'm in the middle.
Right. I am still thinking about marriage as a concept. I'm trying to understand it, right? Do you recommend getting married?
Definitely, I recommend. Why? Because I did lot of crazy stuff.
Okay.
Right? I earn, I spend.
Okay.
Right? Spend it to all of them who are my colleagues or whatever. Whoever comes to me, I spend it to them. Right? Until I got married. Right? I didn't think about my development futuristically. I did thought about today's life, today's day. We have to live today. Tomorrow, when it comes, we'll face it.
Okay.
Right? But a person, when he gets a commitment, that's a commitment, right? That's a huge commitment, right? When you get committed, right, you have to compromise in all of the stuff in order to, right, protect that commitment.
Okay.
That is why we are called a man.
Okay.
Right? Man, if he is committed, he has to like compromise whatever it takes to keep up the commitment, right? So we have to lead. So then you think about your development, right? Definitely it happens because the wife comes over there and she plays a role, right, saying that you have to think about yourself. For an example, right, when I got engaged, my wife asked me, when is the last time you purchased clothes for you? So I told 1 year back, right? Or 2 years back, or like 1 year back, right? So we obviously need a jean and a t-shirt,
Of
that's all,
course. Of course.
right? So she told, no, it doesn't work like that. For certain places, you have to have certain clothes.
Okay.
You have to think about yourself. The hair is not inappropriate, right? Groomings, you have to look after. Look at your, I mean, skin tone, right? You are going and working, exposing to the sunlight, exposing to the dust, right? Look at your skin tone.
So you're saying you were taking care of others. Your wife, when she entered your life, she taught you to take care of yourself first.
Yes, definitely. She reminded that we lost things that we have to look after. So
Beautiful.
definitely it happens in any person, but the thing is that you have to choose the correct partner. Catch is on that.
That is the hardest part.
You know what? My marriage was a arranged marriage, a proposal from my mother. First proposal, done.
Done.
First proposal, done.
You had no other girlfriends or anyone
No,
before
nothing.
that?
Like, I had a social life. I was a party guy. I was not a person who is now.
Okay.
Right? I had lot
A
of
different Arshan.
different Arshan.
Okay.
That's a different Arshan, like the Basha.
Kara.
Like different, right?
So you're talking about this Kara thing, right? Do people, whenever they get into a wali or something, do they still call you, like, since you're like,
Yeah,
you go-
definitely. In the midnight even.
they call you and they
call
ask
me,
you to come?
yes, definitely.
Do you go?
Yes. You know what? Right? You know what my father says to me and my brother? He mimics like this. Hari hari macha, hari dangeno. Hari macha dangeno. Right? Dangeno. He tells us dangeno. Because we don't even listen what he's telling from that part.
Ready.
Machang enda puluwanda dangeno. We went. Even a car breakdown, they call us Shanika, we are there. Right? So most of the times we were in a sleep even, shorter and t-shirt, we go. But thanks to God, right, I haven't involved in a lot of big issues, right? Big law issues.
Big physical
and all.
fights,
No
nothing.
physical fights. Why? Because when I go over to that fights, the opposite side also well known to me.
Okay.
So I talk to them and Pali is finished.
Kata kar le
Yeah,
baru
kata
go.
kar liye. So I go to them. Me. Okay. So it's sorted out
Yeah.
smoothly.
Bro, talking about Wali and like the fights and all that, right? Self defense. I believe that self defense is really important, especially when there is rape happening across all over the world. Now, rape becomes a talk of the town only when someone dies.
Yeah, definitely.
But it shouldn't be the case. There are many unreported cases that are happening. We definitely should teach men about boundaries. But I also believe that 100% we cannot avoid issues like rape. Not 100%. There will always be someone. For that, I do believe that self-defense is really important. What do you think about it? And how does Sri Lanka, forget about the world, how does Sri Lanka as a country and how do schools, what is your advice and what do you think should schools and organizations or parents and everyone in Sri Lanka, how do you think they should give importance to self-defense? Not just to protect a girl child, even for a male child. What is your idea?
What you asked is an important question.
Okay.
So the main scenario is the protection.
Okay.
Just forget about the gender. Yes,
Yes.
the rapes are happening. We have seen now, right, in India as well, in Sri Lanka as well. recently also. There are a lot of scenarios are happening. We don't even know. So the first thing is, where does self-defense come from that? Physically, you have to be capable to protect yourself first. So the mental thing, that you have to educate, right? What happens in the society? How does these murders are happening? How does these rapes are happening? Why? What did cause? You have to educate that.
Yes.
You have to have a basic knowledge.
Sure.
To know that, first of all, right? To know that you are going to harm me, right? I have to have the knowledge.
Okay.
That has to be come from the childhood itself. You have to brought up with them, but giving the examples, you have to show them that this is not good.
You need to show them what danger is, what is danger.
How does it comes? How does it approach? A person comes to you and addressing, right, with different, right, tones.
The intention of the
intention of the person, right? That you can't say no. That you have to get it from the like teachers, society itself. You have to educate yourself.
So what do you think should happen in schools?
In schools now, majorly, right, we have to have a physical activity. You have to, like, physically you have to make a child active. And equally you have to give the self-defense classes. You have to
Do you think it should be a mandatory subject?
Mandatory subject. I obviously say it should be mandatory.
Have you tried speaking to schools or organizations?
Yes, definitely. Definitely, they are not interested.
Why?
Because they don't have that time to give. They don't have this. I mean, like, funds.
It all comes down to funds. No, in the end.
Funds only. So we are talking about funds, and we are missing the main point.
Yeah.
Right, which is affecting, right? So what I'm saying is, give me the space. Just forget about the funds.
Okay.
Give me the space.
So you are ready to do even
Yes.
without any financial, because
Really,
you're okay financially.
I'm not a financially looking into a guy, right? In terms of martial arts or in terms of physical fitness or anything like that. I do conduct classes,
Right.
right?
Yes.
I do get a fee, right? You know about it.
Yes,
You are a
yes.
student of mine,
Yes.
right? Why I charge a certain amount? Because to give the value of my knowledge and my time. If I give you free classes, I tell you, I will be giving you free classes and be at 5 a.m. in the morning, you won't be coming. If I charge you $10,000 and I say tomorrow morning 5, you will be on the point, right? If I say 2 hours of class, right? If I stop it earlier, you will be asking me 2 hours, right? Why? Because you are paying and you know that
The value.
the value. People now these days, they look into the subject, give the value, right, with the value, with the financial value. They look into the subject, right? If it is a highly paid one, they say that's good, make a hunda ඇති, right? If it is a low budgetary one, ඒක හොඳ නැතුව ඇති, ඒකනේ ඒක අඩුවට දෙන්නේ, right? ඒක අඩුවට තියෙන නැගලා ඒක මොකක් කරේ අවුලක් ඇති.
So you are saying you are ready to give your knowledge to students or schools or any organization.
Definitely. If someone is coming,
Even if they can't afford you.
yeah, definitely, I'm ready, because I mean, like, I educated myself in terms of physical fitness and martial arts very hardly, but that, alhamdulillah, Allah gave me that knowledge, right? If I am charging it for a good cause, right?
If you are using it for a
Yeah, it's not a valuable thing to do, right? It's not what God will be expecting from me, right? So even if someone is affected, right, we have to help them.
True.
Right? Even if you have an issue in terms of physically, right? Because and physically you are affected, and that is affecting into your life, right? Majorly, right? If you find it out and see that this is physical activity is the issue that it caused in my family life, right? Most of them have that issue, right? You are going into earnings and missing out your life. So it helps you. So you identify that and you ask me that, bro, help me. Right? I'm always open to it because I love this subject. Right? That is my, like, breathing for me.
You love sharing knowledge, is it?
Yeah, definitely. What am I going to do with keeping it to me? Right? I have to share, right? Because you see, in schools, right, you get martial arts, right, in terms of what? In terms of belts, in terms of grading tests, they say, right? They charge grading test and physical fitness for that only. But when you get into the real life, real society, the child gets right somewhere else. That is the issue that we are having, right? Even for the ladies, that we have to give the physical fitness levels and and sorry, it has to be backed up by the families as well.
Final question. One advice you would give for parents regarding taking martial arts or self-defense seriously from a young age?
We have to look into keeping our children's right in physically involving, because that is where the child learns about confidence, self confidence, right? And that is where he challenges himself and learns, right, a lot of things about life. My philosophy in life is healthy body will always produce a healthy mind.
Healthy body will
Always produce a healthy mind.
awesome.
Because when you get in the morning when you wake up, right, you have aches and pains in your body. What happens? The day you stop it, right?
So,
If you start with a run, right, in the morning, if you start by jogging, right, in the mist, and you get a breathe, the breeze goes into your lungs, and you get the satisfaction instantly. You get the satisfaction instantly,
okay.
right? From whatever the activities, what do you get instant satisfactions from?
Okay.
Most of the things.
Okay.
But physically, when you are engaging, right, up having a break and having a good term of a physical activity, right, and you finish it,
Yeah.
and you think that I have been through a very tough training and I
Okay.
finished that, and my body is capable of doing this, right, and I can do more than that.
Okay.
So how confidence that you will be feeling, and how satisfaction do you will be
Yeah.
having,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Most of the people are dying without knowing their capability, physical capabilities. Even though fittest person will be dying, but I am satisfied until the end of the day. I live my life actively.
Okay. So, to end this, to finish, as a summary, a healthy body produces
A healthy mind.
a healthy mind.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It has been really wonderful. I'm sure this has been really eye-opening for me too. I hope to see you soon in another episode.
Inshallah.
I'm sure we will have a lot to talk. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, bro. Thank you
Thank you
very
so
much
much,
for
bro.
calling
Thank
me.
you so much.
Right, giving me the time. Actually,
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you
after
for
a long time, I open up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Right, and now the chalk.
No choking. No one's getting choked. Cut.
You want the chalk?
No one's getting choked. No one's getting
It will take only few seconds to get back.
choked. No.